You are listening to Cogent Radio, and it's time for Trigger Warning!
Welcome to Trigger Warning Extra Time. My name's Graham Booth. You may know me from Game Face and, of course, Trigger Warning. I'm here with everyone's favourite science denier, Hayden Hewitt. You alright, mate?
I'm alright, Pickle. How are you?
How you coming?
Gammon and Pickle. We need the cartoon stripped in.
I know. We were talking about that, weren't we? We were talking about, like, you know, when people just take like a minute or two from the podcast and animate over it, but I don't know anyone that do, because it's one of them, innit? We're never going to be able to give them what they're worth for doing something like that.
No, but what we do need, because I saw you highlight that software for helping us do clips with video on it.
Oh, yes.
To save time, and maybe Mad Johnny Media will come up with a Gammon and Pickle character for us. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, we'll have to ask him.
Maybe we should ask him instead of hinting. Just
yeah.
Dude, would you do this for us?
You weren't listening at midnight on that Tuesday. The fuck?
What kind of triggerist are you, dude? God.
Don't you see us using your artwork royalty free on everything? Show some appreciation.
My favourite is when that was posted on Live League. Obviously, I have my personal attendees on there, and they're like, look how Hayden's had himself drawn all muscular. For fuck's sake.
Can't win, can you, with the fucking conspiracy theory?
I can't win with anything. We had a spam attack on there, and it was a Bitcoin spammer.
Yes,
that's hit other sites. They've hit Microsoft. They've hit loads of video sites. But on Live Leak, it was because they didn't like our rules, so it was paid back.
Oh, really? That was after last week's show, wasn't it? Because
during, yes.
Yeah, during, because there was all, me and everyone else heard your RAM typing, and usually when you're doing that, it's because you're trolling someone as you're live on air, but you were like, no, I've got to sort something out, and I didn't ask until afterwards, because with you not saying, I thought, oh God, this is going to be something serious, and it was like, well, it was serious, but not not bad time serious, you know? But yeah, I was like, oh, fucking hell. And I was watching it, I was sat here at 1 a.m, watching all the posts pop up, watching you delete them.
I was sat here quite late.
I know. But you
don't always have people on board, you know?
You're going to have to sue yourself for emotional damage, aren't you, Aidan?
That's it. I need to do that anyway. It's on my list. It's on my list of things to do after I've done all these other things on my fucking list, which is just ridiculous nowadays. But yeah, the first thing I wanted to mention was, do you remember the MP, Lucy Powell, who wants to put a bill in front of Parliament to basically stop people having any privacy whatsoever online? And I posted up that this was unworkable, it wouldn't achieve the aim she claims it's for, and it would just, make life harder for ordinary people. Because whilst, yes, you can probably find many groups where it's, really bad people in them, what about all the thousands or millions of private groups where it's people with depression, people with disorders, people with, trans people wanting to talk privately, just people wanting to share things with a small group without involving the wider world? What about those people? Don't they deserve their privacy? Aren't they entitled to it?
What about political opponents as well?
Yeah. What about Jeremy Corbyn hanging out in anti-Semitic hate groups that he didn't know that's what it was, even though he posted 3 times or whatever? No, come on. So she said in her tweet to me, email me, I'll clarify it. There's been a lot of confusion about this online. All right, benefit of the doubt. Sent a very polite email outlining some of my understanding of the situation and everything. And imagine my surprise that there's been no response.
Really?
She's the MP for Manchester.
Yeah, she's kind of yeah. This is like we're the ones that keep her in a job.
Yeah.
Although Manchester's so fucking depressingly safe for Labour that
it is. But I was just like, could you be any less? Could you just try and be less typical? Of I didn't get your email because you don't give a shit. I understand. We've all done it. Yeah, send me an email.
Have you pressed her on it?
I've just started tweeting. I tweeted today, and I'm going to tweet her a little more directly, in the hope that she'll at least try and clarify the situation. What on earth gave her the idea that this was a good idea? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a ridiculous idea, you know. They always trot out the same shit. It's either to protect the children or terrorism.
Well, I think, as we demonstrated in the last episode, someone at the BBC definitely listens to this show, but she obviously doesn't. We're right on the edge of starting the patriarchy party here, and which would be a dangerous political force.
The most dangerous political force. The other thing that caught my attention online today, obviously, there's the new film from Mike Lee's coming out about the Peterloo massacre.
Oh, yes.
Peterloo. And I was reading some comments on it, as I do. I'm reading all the people saying, oh, this will be more lefty nonsense, changing history. One of those comments was written by a man that's a military man, and I thought, I imagine I know where your stance will be on this. But then I saw people using it as a parable for their stance on Brexit.
What?
I saw a Leaver saying this is, you know, us against the Remainers, and a Remainer said, actually, it's us against the Leavers. And I went, and the pair of you doing this, you know, aligning yourselves with this is utterly ridiculous. You're sat on the internet with full bellies puling like children. How do you compare yourself to the starving and downtrodden masses? Come on.
I know. Yeah, no,
massacre.
no.
But things like this are being glossed over because most history lessons nowadays, it seems, focus on the fact that we were terrible people. Just terrible, the worst.
Well, it was all men, wasn't it? It was all men what did it.
Absolutely,
and
gammons.
It was women had the problems, and men did it. And one day we'll fix that.
Yeah, because we've not at all benefited from the fact that we were colonial nightmares.
No.
Yeah, but I saw this recently with the farm murders in South Africa. Someone saying, well, you know, we earned this.
Oh, fuck off.
It's like, what do you mean we earned it? How did those farmers earn it? Well, our history of colonialism just comes back to bite us on that. They had the same opinion on terrorism, and we just earned this. I was like, let's see how understanding you are if it's one of your family copying for it. So then they tried. I didn't say I condoned it. I said, do you know what understanding means? You know, I understand it. It doesn't just mean that logically I know. When you say I understand, it means I get it. Yeah, I get it. And yeah, we're owed this. Do you know what? I'm not owed anything for anything. I mean, my ancestors certainly didn't roll up beaches stabbing people, but even if they had, I don't owe anything to anybody because of it, because I didn't do it. You know, I just hate all these white guilt fucking arseholes. We can't change the past. The past is the past.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as it's the same as these people going on about like, oh, we saved your asses in World War II and all that shit. And it's like, no, you didn't. You didn't do fuck all.
You're sat on the internet. You fat, smelly prick. You're sat on the internet typing.
Yeah. And it's like the other side of the coin of that sort of ridiculous nationalism. It's just like, oh well, we deserve this because of what we did. It's like, you didn't do anything. That's actually the problem with you. You don't do anything. That's the issue.
Yeah. Well, someone said today that, you know, when I said there's nobody to vote for anymore, and I don't feel that there is. You know, because I can't vote for Labour because I just think they're wrong through and through. I couldn't vote Tory because that's just fucking despicable. The Lib Dems...
It'd be worth it for the wank afterwards, though, wouldn't it? Go home and be like, oh, yes, you're the guilt wank, yeah.
I mean, the Lib Dems are just... There's just no point. And what does that leave? UKIP? I can't vote UKIP.
Yeah, well, I was saying this last week, wasn't I? Like, if there was an election right now, tomorrow we woke up, I'd just fucking take the UKIP person just because fuck it at this point. Honestly. I'm
because
like,
fuck you.
because fuck you. And and they're the only people actually making any kind of statements on free speech right now, which is terrifying to me. You know, Labour are fanning on about the people's vote and all that shit. And it's like, what about people who have been imprisoned for Instagram posts? You know, are you not concerned about this? This is like the destruction of our ability to think and function as a society. You're not even slightly fucking worried about this.
Of course they're not. They support it.
No.
Because politicians have been abused.
Well, that's what it comes. And you know what? I don't mind disagreeing, but I completely agree with you on that one. It is because politicians get a load of nasty tweets, and they do. There's no denying that. They do get a lot of shit, and they get a lot of abuse that's very specific to them. So if they're a woman, it'll be misogynistic. If they're brown, it'll be whatever racist. You know, like they do, and that's why they care about these issues. From this point, we've got to bring in hate speech laws. It's like, what about a dude getting a dude who's going to go to prison for doing a Nazi joke? It's like, well, you know, them's the breaks, isn't it? I need
Can't
to
make an
myself.
omelette without breaking some eggs.
Yeah, and not only that, have you seen, they're trying to change the law as well, so that trolls can't run for office. If you've been done for hate speech, you can't run for office. It's going to discount you from it, and it's going to be. They want to make it part of the actual checks, so that if you're an identified online troll, then you're not allowed to be within government. And it's just like, excuse me, like, which, you know, if you're talking about a piece of shit that's just sending racist abuse after racist abuse all day, specifically trying to destroy someone's life, I get that. But the problem is, you think of that when you say troll, but that's not what they're applying it to. They're applying it to anyone that disagrees with them, you know?
I know.
Which is just
and
like,
also,
what?
trolling, all trolling was being humorously disruptive, being a pain in the arse. It was funny. Yeah, it was just fun. When it was just, now it's been turned into something dirty because they've got no sense of humour.
Well, they just use it for anyone that disagrees with them.
Yeah.
If someone disagrees, they go, the trolls are here, are they? And it's like, I just disagree with you.
I got called a bot the other day. How badly programmed would I be?
A verified
someone
bot.
did. They called me a bot. Is that it? Is that how this conversation? Then they blocked me.
Well, yeah. Well, it's about it's about dehumanizing you. You know, you're not. They don't actually think you're a bot. That's just the latest tactic. You know, a month ago they were calling you a Russian troll. Yeah. Now it's a Russian, you know, now it's a bot, and it's just, it's whatever label they need to apply to not actually have to engage
your point
with the argument. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking again Brexit, and I was just talking around it, and so I said, "You're too stupid for me to talk to. You are blocked." Why are you telling me? What? Just block me, dude, because now I've got to go and look at you with another account and troll the shit. I mean, not that I would. I hasten to add, I don't encourage that sort of behaviour, certainly, but certainly you should never log into a different account and poke them with the stick a little bit until they block that too, and then maybe a couple more. But, you know, you shouldn't do that. It's the wrong thing to do, and I don't approve of that. Unless someone's a snowflake pussy, in which case. But it depends what your motives are. It's like any trolling, isn't it? There is a fine line between you having a poke at someone and being a whiny prick. And it's just all lost nowadays. It's just all lost. Do you know who are really bad for it? I'm sure I've said this before, and it's true. Australians.
Oh, really?
You know, like they give off that we're all blokes and fair dinkum and whatever else, and they're remarkably fragile. Remarkably fragile. They get all offended, but they don't say, I'm offended. They just get a bit pissy when they don't get the way. But I find a lot of people online, the ones that give it out the most about free expression, they come and talk to you like, oh, you piece of shit, you faggot, you this, you that. The minute you're anything less than respectful back, they get all like passive aggressive and butthurt. As if it's Burger King and I'm serving them.
I know. Oh, I love all that. Oh, is this how you treat me then, is it? Yep.
Oh, I'd love that myself, yeah. They've just wished cancer on me and my entire family. This one guy, this again, live leak stories, sorry, but he claims it's him. Like 5 years ago or something, I was doing a live stream and he was giving it out. I had one little dig back. Offended. Been making accounts for 5 years. But keeps calling me like a snowflake and a cook. It's like, dude, You keep making accounts on a website to moan at me because I hurt your feelings 5 years ago. These are the people we're surrounded by. And this isn't a leftist. Because everyone says the leftists are, and they are terrible. But they don't own snowflakery. Not by a long stretch. Not by a long stretch. Look at this whole thing with InfoWars, which has gone absolutely fucking mental now. Even PayPal are after him.
Yeah, I know. Which is
Paul Joseph Watson screaming about, it's not fair, it's monopolies, it's this, it's that, it's capitalism, dude. Anyone can start up in competition, right? All of a sudden, that story's changed. All of a sudden, it's different. Do you know what? I don't agree with the Twitter policies. As much as Alex Jones pisses me off sometimes, and I think he's little more than a supplement salesman that plays people, I can't agree with what's happened to him overall. If there's a legal issue, let the law take care of it. If it's something that could crush your platform, fine. Just say, this guy is too toxic for our platform. But don't mealy mouth it. Just fucking straight up ban him. Because if it came on top because he hosts videos on Lively and we were like losing all our advertisers and having problems with hosts and things, we'd probably have to shit can him. But we wouldn't lie about it. We'd say, sorry, dude, it's you or us. But of course, when you do that, you're the one that's broken like a popsicle stick because you won't risk your entire life for anonymous people on the internet that demand that you sacrifice for their imagined freedoms that they have. But I'm listening to Paul Joseph Watson wailing about, these are the new public greens and they've got monopolies. Do you know what? They don't have a monopoly. They're just popular. There are many other video sites. There are many other social media websites. You just don't have the reach that the big guys have. So it's not a monopoly. They're just very good at it. Facebook's getting a bit cheeky because they buy everybody or crush them. But I understand everyone says about a digital bill of rights, and I'm even working on something similar for trigger warning. As a promise to us and a promise to the users, because I think it's important, and because it's small enough that I can do that. But I understand all these things, but at the end of it, if you're a supporter of capitalism, unfettered capitalism, that they all claimed to be before this, make no mistake, you can't start fucking whinging when it doesn't go your way. You just can't. And for all their followers going, the government should step in. So have you fucking heard yourselves? You want the government to step in so that you can still play on Twitter? Really? You want government interference in all of social media because someone got banned off one platform or 10 platforms? And whilst I don't agree with what's happened with Alex Jones, I am firmly of the thinking now, if we open the door for this digital bill of rights and invite government to legislate on social media platforms, do you think it's really going to only affect Facebook and Twitter? It's going to shaft everybody. Why invite them in? Just take some of that money and do it yourself. Don't build Twitter. Get people to go to the InfoWars, host your own media. You can afford it. You'll find a way. You're making a lot of money. PayPal's fallen through. Try something else. There'll be a company out there that will deal with you. Just one of the credit card, debit card companies. Now, however, caveat, MasterCard and Visa could well, because it's been done before, deny him service.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it?
In which case he's finished. But you see, to my mind, that's very different because they do have a monopoly. And, they do have a monopoly. PayPal doesn't. It's just convenient. But there's still many payment processors that use MasterCard and Visa. You can still pay with your debit card, which is pretty much what you're doing with PayPal. But MasterCard and Visa, when they shut you down, that's it.
Yeah, that's what some of the PayPal. I mean, I don't know if that's what's happened in Alex Jones's case, but that is what's been happening with PayPal in the past, isn't it? PayPal have been saying we'll pull it, but what's actually happened is MasterCard has said to PayPal we'll pull it. MasterCard has used the same tactics on PayPal of like, well, we'll pull our thing from you then. I mean, I don't think they would, but they'll threaten it at least.
Of course, they got massive sway.
Horrible.
But
I do worry about
this is the way
PayPal.
The world works.
I do worry about PayPal because they are the online money though, aren't they? They're so integrated with so many things now. There are alternatives, of course there are, but they surely they must be bordering on a point where they are regulated like a bank is. Surely,
it would have made sense to me that they are, because that's essentially what they are. They hold your money, and they do there are these unfair things where I've known people that even if they haven't actually transgressed, or they've a small transgression, an accident, they've had their accounts frozen.
That's really bad. That's really bad.
I know 2 people personally who were put out of business because they froze their accounts for more than 3 months.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
And they were out of business,
absolutely
finished.
Crazy. And they can't. There's so little. I mean, I've actually stopped
nothing
using
you
it
can
with my
do.
sex work now. Like I can't take payments through it because they're so prissy about it.
But it's true. I personally know 2 people, through work, who have gone out of business. One because of a mistake, literally a complaint that he didn't do. But one was such a minor transgression; it was just a simple cock up. But they've frozen their accounts, so all of their funds were in it. And that was it. They were out of business because they couldn't get access to their own funds. Now, banks can't do that.
I mean, why anyone would leave money in PayPal at this point, I don't know. But again, if you are thinking of it and treating it as a bank, then you wouldn't be pulling your money out of it. There's no way. No.
Your average small business owner that just sees them as a payment processor might leave it in for a week, 2 weeks, a month, maybe just do the banking monthly or weekly. And a week's worth of takings to a small business is make or break.
Yeah, and not only that, you have a business account with them, so it's not like it's just some whatever. You actually have to start a business account with them, don't you? And you've got specific rules that you're under whilst you're there. Really dodgy. Really, I think PayPal is playing a very dangerous game at the moment. And I know all the stuff's going on with Kavanaugh, and that's taking all the focus right now. But also, the American government is heavily looking at social media and the internet and all that at the moment. Heavily. In fact, those hearings have been going on at the same time as the Kavanaugh ones, but they've just not been getting the press.
Make no mistake, there's a many-pronged attack on the internet, and as we've said on many shows, that net neutrality has been politicised now, which beggars belief. It beggars belief. If only people read it and what it entails. But it's un-American and it's communist. But net neutrality, the loss of net neutrality and where that could go, on its own, could destroy the internet as we know it. Adding to that the laws the UK are trying to put into place, and they will make them global. They will. And the EU doing its part to fuck the internet. And that's the best one, is it? The Independent, an online newspaper that relies on people sharing their links, demanding we stay in the EU so that they can go out of business.
I know. Online newspapers are already very much on the wire right now. They're not doing well. It's like a turkey voting for Christmas. Yeah. Bless them.
Because we'll be all right. We can change it from within. No, you can't. Even trialing this and watching it fail spectacularly did not stop this.
No, I know. How have they've literally tried it and it fucked it up. And they're like, oh, let's do that again, but everywhere. No, it'll work this time. It's not real socialism.
It's horrifying what's happening. And it's very clever at the same time. There's people standing up and applauding the EU's thing, thinking that it's going to put money back in the hands of publishers. Including the little guy, which is hilarious.
Well, because there's some people who are on the inside of it, and they're part of bringing legislation forward, and there'll be exemptions, there'll be licenses, and ultimately it's protecting some of the big guys because they'll be able to afford to put things in place, like the link tax license and all that nonsense. They'll be able to afford it.
The whole thing's a fucking joke. Then you got the UK trying to ban everything. Just any kind of free thought. And they use the extremes to sell it to people. Paedophiles, terrorists, flat earthers, conspiracy theorists. if you're really honest, who does it hurt that someone thinks 9/11 was an inside job? It's upsetting for the families. Sorry, but it's just someone's opinion on the situation.
Yeah.
They're not saying, lol, your family's dead. It doesn't hurt. Like the Sandy Hook one. Yeah, okay, it hurts when you've got a major player talking about it and you're being victimized because of it. But at the end of it, it's someone's opinion. It's someone's belief. If we're going to allow people to believe in God and push their religious values on others, I think it's more than a little hypocritical of us to say we want to ban conspiracy theories or ban this or ban people that think that, because at the end of the day, we're still supporting one of the worst delusions in the history of mankind anyway. Now, who are we to think these? Who are we to ban people from what they're thinking just for having a chat about it? But we're going to because they sell it on the extremes. People will stand up and cheer just like they did the Video Nasties thing, which was based on no scientific evidence whatsoever. And they'll sell it and they'll get them through and everyone will think it's great. And the internet is really under attack at the moment and everyone's supporting the people that are doing it. And when I point out, like, what are you doing? Fuck you. I know, this is for the best. Oh. Right, is it? But it's not. No, it's still for the best. Like people saying something, well, it's a small price to pay. For what? For what? Well, if we stay in Europe, it'll be better. Without the internet. Without another freedom. How are you going to know what they're up to then?
Speaking of lack of freedom,
I'm getting a bit grim. Sorry.
No, well, I wanted to ask you about this. Do you see that Bill Cosby's been sent down, officially?
3 to 10.
3 to 10, and that's the 3 to 10 is what I wanted to ask you about because I don't understand this. Why? You or anyone listening could tell me why would someone get between 3 and 10 years? Surely they know and they can just give you the thing.
Yeah, I don't get that. You normally get why aren't you doing 10 years and maybe you'd be out in 3.
Yeah, you'd be eligible to get out in that. Yeah, whatever. But
I don't understand the 3 to 10 thing. I don't understand 10 to 20.
No, there's
what does it depend on? Is it your behaviour?
I don't know. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably going to die in there no matter what. But there's a big difference between 3 and 10 years.
He'll be out when he's 84. He can still finger people at 84.
Oh, it'll be extra naughty, won't it? He's going to be attracting all kinds of weirdos that love it.
With his gnarled old fingers that have been in and out of all sorts. Because that's what he did mostly, wasn't it? Wasn't it a bit of fingering with Bill Cosby?
I think so, yeah. It was the drugging and fingering. He loved it.
Which is not good. We don't approve of it, but it's not. It's like you said last week, the lighter side of sexual abuse was the guy pretending to have Down syndrome.
I know.
This is a little darker because it is very much an invasion of someone's very personal space. But 3 to 10 seems odd. Obviously, there's not much point giving him much more than 10. He's 81.
No, I know. Bloody hell, he's fucked, isn't he? He's fucked. He'll probably do the 3 years, though, won't he? Let's be honest. He's still... I remember there's a hot dog place in Washington, D.C., really, really famous, smoky something or other. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's one of these famous little places. And there's a big, or at least there was, I imagine they've got rid of it now, a big picture of Bill. And there's a sign that says, only Bill Cosby gets to eat for free here, because he does. And apparently he'd visit like once or twice a year and get his free dog and get his picture taken and that. But
has he not been in for a bit?
I can't imagine.
Do you know what the judge said to him, which really strikes me odd? You know, about using your celebrity to victimize dozens upon dozens of women. Oh, this was one of the women that testified. She said, your lack of remorse is astonishing. What level of remorse would you expect from a serial rapist? I'm pretty sure that once you've gone past your first rape, you're all right with it.
That's like that. Who's the comedian that said the worst thing was the hypocrisy? And it's like, no, the worst thing isn't the hypocrisy, it's the rape.
Yeah, it's definitely the rape.
That's the worst part. Then the drugging.
It's like the Yorkshire Ripper, isn't it? When that victim's son went to him and said, you know, I just wanted to know I forgive you. And Peter Sutcliffe looked him in the eye and said, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And walked out of the room. And this guy was like, yeah, I was surprised by that. Really? You're surprised that the serial killer of 13 women wasn't that touched by you forgiving him? What were you thinking? So why would Bill Cosby, a serial rapist? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't believe you, man. It was a complete accident.
So, Mr. Kill C1 has said, I think it's a minimum of 3 and no more than 10 years with a yearly review or parole after the 3. Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. You'd expect it to say 10 years with parole, chance of parole at 3 or something like that, wouldn't you? Not the. It's just such an odd way of wording it, 3 to 10 to me. It doesn't feel very legal. But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'd have to assume it was.
I just think that's fucking stupid. Just give him a date. You're going to do 10 years, fella. You're going to do 10 years.
This is how bad rape is. This is how bad it is.
3 years. Dozens. Not one, dozens. So he's essentially been given a couple of weeks per rape. Which seems a bit lenient, if I'm going to be honest. I'm sure you get longer than that.
There's a couple of things I want to mention from, because obviously the Labour conference has been going over. We mentioned in the last episode about this ridiculous people's vote thing they're trying to do, which is like, guys, which is making me think, oh, you know, because part of me is thinking, oh, well, Labour might have done a bit of a better job at doing this negotiations, because how could you have done worse? But then Labour they can't even get their asses together on what the vote should have been in the first place at this point. So it's like, oh, fuck off then, fuck off. But there's been a couple of things that came up, and you did remind me of it in the last episode with that, you know, China having 10-year and 50 plans and all that. And there's an idea that came, you see, I'm on the side of capitalism, obviously. But there was the idea of bringing back the water company into public ownership, and I quite like this idea. I think because there's not several kinds of pipes running into my building. There's just the one pipe that we all get the same water. You know what I mean? It's one system, and so that it's not like there's room for competition to breed renovation. It's like water's just water at the end of the day. I'm not looking for some new super water to come through the pipes. I'm happy with it just being what it is. So I'm happy with this. But one of the weird things that Labour got challenged on was saying, well, this could take 20 years. And it's like, well, yeah, so what? Wait, why does it have to be now? No.
I think we should nationalise the water. 100%. We should nationalise all utilities. Gas, electric, water.
I can get behind that, yeah.
Just because there's too many people that can't afford them because of profiteering, and it's as simple as that. They shouldn't. If people die without something because someone's got to make more profit, we can't do that. You know, we just can't. That's why we have food banks and things, but we don't have that for electric and gas and water. Well, the only thing is in the UK they can't cut your water off.
No, they can't. I remember a few years ago my mate getting pulled behind, and he was just laughing about it because they just send old ladies round.
Well,
to ask
they
you
do
nicely.
also take. I mean, they will prosecute you.
Yeah,
but they can't turn your water. It's the same if you have a child under 5 in this country. They can't turn your gas or electric off. But I think all utilities should be nationalised. I think the railroads should be nationalised. We pretty much pay for most of it anyway, so why not?
Yeah,
because these are systems that don't work that great on a nationalised basis, but they work equally as well as they do privatised. There is no further infrastructure. There's no further investment because they've got to make profit first. And because of that, we waste more water than most other European countries because of leaks and poor infrastructure, because all the money's been creamed off for United Utilities.
Well, I mean, look what happened. The Big Five got done for price fixing, didn't they? They got caught colluding and keeping utility prices high because they all agreed. They all agreed with between each other. Yeah, this will be the minimum. None of us will go below this. We'll keep it, and that way when people compare and all that, and that that's it. They really at that point it's like, well, you're done, aren't you? You're out. Sorry, but no. And who cares if you've got a 30-year contract? That's
Tough
it.
shit.
We'll just
break it.
Just say now. Oh well, I'm not one for removal of private property, but yeah, I mean, if you're breaking the rules, I mean, you can. Here's the thing: the water companies are not necessarily breaking the rules in such a horrible way. They might be. They might very well.
But here's
be.
the thing: I'm not one for taking private property. But you know what? If your actions are endangering the lives of people, if your greed is putting people at risk, making them choose between warming the house or feeding your kid, do you know what? Fuck your private property. There's got to be a point where a government can stand up and say, you're just doing it fucking wrong. Well, yeah, this isn't a car business.
Grow a pair and do your job, basically.
This is utilities. So I'm down with that. I'm down with your rail and bus networks. 100%. I'm there. I'm all for that. Nothing else. I don't want subsidies everywhere. But utilities and travel, obviously schools, education and health. That's the way it should be. However, Labour then go and screw it up by saying every company should give away 10% to its workers.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah.
How about this? Earn it. Yes, there should be a decent pay. There has to be a minimum wage. I get that. I might not always agree with how some of it's implemented, but you know what? People have to earn enough to eat, to live. And if your business isn't generating enough to pay them, then you're going to have to look at your business again. That's just the way it is. These are the costs of running a business. We've got to be careful we don't push them too high, because everyone thinks it'd be great for a minute. £20 an hour, but of course inflation would rise, making that £20 feel a hell of a lot like £12.
Yeah. Because
that's the way the world works. If you have more money, people will charge more money for things.
Well, they've just put the minimum wage up to New York to $15, and it's just closed loads of businesses.
Yeah,
because they just can't afford to pay it.
You've got to be very careful. You have to do it slowly and carefully, and ensure the money's coming in, and give business owners time to adjust and increase the prices and things of that nature. But everything's now because you got to win a few votes. We know, you said with the 20-year plan. Oh, I'll take 20 years. Well, of course it will. Well, let's start now, and then we can crack on. But you know that there's a core of Labour support that would have been absolutely creaming their pants at the thought of the proletariat getting somebody else's property because they work there. Now, I'm sorry. No, if someone's paying you to do a job, paying you fairly within the law, perhaps a little more, they give you everything you're entitled to, you choose to work there. You can't suddenly go, I will come and work for you. Now give me some of your company. No, that tends to be people with a far higher pay grade that get that. And not everybody on a higher pay grade's there because they were born to it. Some people work really fucking hard. They're the people that get percentages of companies.
Yeah. The other problem with stuff like this as well is when it's forced like this, the costs just come from somewhere else. So if you're going to give someone £500 worth of the company every year, they're just going to pay them £500 less. More, yeah. Well, in fact, even more than that, because they'll be covering the costs of whatever, offsetting it. It always we got a big problem in this country with 0 hours contracts. So the government brought in a thing where I think is it a year? If you do the job for more than a year, they're supposed to offer you the job. They're supposed to give you holiday pay. They brought in all these rules, and it didn't change a fucking thing. In fact, it made it worse because now, after a year of being in a contract, if you're a 0 hours, if you put your head above the line and say, "Aren't you supposed to give me a job now?" they get rid of you because fuck that.
Because not only that, they say that after a year you've got to give them the contract. But is it 2 or 3 years now? You can just sack anybody if you want to.
Yeah.
Just sack them. No reason.
But the problem is though, if you're working through an agency, they have to give the agency that provided you a few grand anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole system's fucked, and all this bullshit about giving people holiday pay, it's nonsense. The only thing that happened was your pay instead of getting £10 an hour, you now get £8 an hour and £2 an hour of holiday pay. It doesn't change anything. There's this, oh great, I feel really relaxed after my pay slip looks slightly different. You know, it didn't change anything at all. And it's the same with this, give people a piece of the company. It'll never fucking work.
No.
I mean, what you do is you appeal to the greed and the profit side of it. They're gonna dodge taxes anyway, so make incentives, give people tax breaks for giving the workers more, so they're not having to move the money out. Yeah. Play on the fucking greed side, the thing that actually fucking works. Give people tax breaks
for large corporations make a lot of sense. It's not trickle-down economics. It's just the fact that nothing in life is perfect. Okay, yeah, in a perfect world, something like Amazon would pay a hell of a lot more tax in the UK. However, what happens is, because there's whatever legal chicanery is going on, and I really emphasise legal. I didn't say moral, definitely said legal. But that keeps them here. Now people are saying, yeah, but they do employ a lot of people. And that money tends to come back into the country anyway. And you've got to be, economics is not this cut and dried thing that everyone seems to think it is. They're here, they should pay. Yes, it's grossly unfair that a small company of mine would have to pay 20% corporation tax when this giant company does not. However, none of my companies are employing 40,000 people.
Yeah, people with families.
And pumping money back into the economy. Because people forget that about welfare as well, your benefits. It's very easy to get stuck in that people are getting something for nothing, what do we get out of it? But all that money goes back in. It all goes through a business. Maybe it's a big business, maybe it's the corner shop. But it all goes back into the economy. It doesn't stay with the people that are on welfare.
People on benefits aren't exactly hoarding the money, are they? Let's be honest.
It all comes back through. And I'm not saying it's a great thing, but you have to be more measured about these sort of things. Now, I only did GCSE level economics, and what I've picked up working with, the guys that I sometimes work with.
Of course, yeah.
Who are very clever on these things, and this is what they do. But we have long conversations about this and the benefits of it, because one of them quite surprised me, saying, I don't think we should charge them any corporation tax. I'm like, well, billions. He said billions more will make its way in. This is how these deals are done. This is the nature of these deals. This is why you have this tax avoidance, not evasion. This is why they can do that, and why they're not clamped down on, because the minute you put a 20% tax on these guys, they move to the next country that doesn't.
Yeah, of course they do. That's why Texas is doing so well right now. Their tax is almost nothing. It's effectively zero.
But we focus on the big single number. We don't focus on, let's say, all right, we're missing $2 billion a year in tax. I mean, it's not that much, but let's say $2 billion, because it's a nice big figure. That's what we focus on. We don't focus on the fact that dispersed amongst 100,000 employees, 200,000 employees, we're raking in $4 billion or whatever, we're raking in more, and the knock-on effects to the economy that keeps the cash flow going through different businesses and landlords and shops and, luxury goods that keeps the imports, exports afloat, which pays haulage companies. We don't see all the benefits. We only see the negatives. We're not getting that tax. It's all a fucking dirty game. All of it. And you have to play it. You have to play it. Knock it back, doesn't matter. But why are they charging the small business that? Because small business can't give as many benefits. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I get that.
It's unfair, but it works.
There's another one as well in terms of the thing. There was this Gail Cartman from Unite gave this big speech about bandit capitalism, which she's not a fan of. Bandit capitalism, bless the little faces, because the Carillion closed and everyone lost their jobs and all the money's gone and they've not paid anyone out and all the rest of it. And they're saying this is bandit capitalism. They stole the money. But to me, Carillion is the perfect example of why actual capitalism works and not this ridiculous, like, the Carillion was so in cahoots with the government. They were building all the schools, the prisons, the hospital, all the rest of it, loads and loads of stuff, and they were almost exclusively running off government money and government oversight, and the government knew they were failing and kept pumping more money in. And now, apparently, according to Unite and Labour, this is capitalism, and it's like, no. This is the problem of mixing actual capitalism, which is private ownership, with governments. This is the problem when you blend them together like this. And and they're blaming it. They're like, oh well, we need to. And it's like they want more government control over these companies and more government oversight. And it's like, guys, the thing that you're holding up as an example is the thing where your interference fucked it for everyone completely, you know? Well, it's ridiculous.
We've said it on this many a time, we're in agreement on it. A government's only place should be legislating, excuse me, in terms of business, legislating for safety.
Yeah.
And preventing monopolies. That should be it. And obviously, you know, well, safety covers many things, not just accidents. It covers, you know, the public health, like we should be stepping in about the utilities and things like that. So safety in the country's interest, i.e. transport and infrastructure. And, yeah, monopolies. And that should be about it, really. We should not have government propping up private industry unless they're going to prop up all private industry. Carillion was a creation that was doomed to fail because politicians are inept fucking idiots. They're inept. They're so poorly equipped to do their job. You know, they're very slick. They can never answer a question. But everything they touch turns to shit. Every single thing they touch goes wrong because they're not on performance-related pay. I think we should have our politicians on 0-hour contracts and performance-related pay.
Well, here's the thing, man. Running a company is really fucking hard.
I know.
Really hard. running a company with 10 people in it is difficult. Being a CEO is insanity. You have to be genius level. You have to be on another level of amazing. It's a horrible, hard life where you're having to think constantly in terms of the next 5 years and manage all these different things. But for some reason, these politicians think that they can surpass a CEO of a major company in terms of planning the entirety of everything. No, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You can't do it. Protect us by all means. Run the hospital, run the prisons. In terms of Britain, run the hospitals. Yes, please do it. Please do it. But stop trying to fucking, Carillion should have fallen on its ass years ago. As should as should these rail companies, as should these other ones, as should these fucking...
As should the banks.
As should the banks, Let them fail. Let them fucking too big to fail, my fucking ass. Let it fail. If it's not working, it's not working. Just because they're putting a shitload of money in your pocket, it's too big to fail, isn't it? I need a new house. Fuck off. They've got too much power.
Yeah.
Magammon.
Gammon life. Hashtag gammon life.
Hashtag Magammon.
I think we're about at the end of the show now, Graham.
Oh, dude.
47 minutes to go on. If you've got another thing you really need.
Right, well, maybe we can talk about it on Thursday then, because there was this woman called Greywing that got murdered. She went missing and everyone was worried about Native Americans and all that, but it turns out it wasn't racist in the slightest. It was nothing. It was this horrible woman, called Brooke Cruz, who told her boyfriend she was pregnant to keep him. And then when he realised she wasn't pregnant, he told her she better produce a baby. So she went round to Greywind and cut the baby out of her stomach.
Oh.
Yeah, and the baby survived, thankfully. But these guys are fucked right now. They're on trial, quite rightly so. They're going to prison for the rest of their lives. Because apparently he then came in with a rope and strangled the babyless pregnant lady with the rope just to make sure she was dead. And then together they hid the body.
Oh,
so, yeah. Weird, horrible situation. But yeah, have a look into all that, everyone, if you fancy it.
That's a lovely little and finally. A Native American woman was murdered and had a baby ripped from a still living body.
Yeah.
As she died slowly, and then a man came in and strangled her corpse. Because
yeah.
better safe than sorry, guys.
Well, I only brought it up because it's an interesting one to look at how it's been reported and how it has been reported, because it was this whole, what are we going to do about Native Americans? And it's like, it's got fuck all to do with that. But it's the fact that the baby survived. I was like, oh, thank God for that. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
I'm happy about that.
That kid's going to be... There's a whole lump of shocking fucking nightmares in store for that kid.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to tell that child. Well, hopefully not when they're a child, but when they're old enough to understand what happened to my mum. Well, there's a lot of darkness there.
Yes. Yeah. Her mum was only 22 as well when it happened. She's just a baby. Oh, horrible.
Well,
horrible thing.
We can't end on anything that grim. Because this is that. So I would like to say that on Trigger Warning Social, which if you go to social.triggerwarning.tv and use one of the invitation codes freely available on Twitter, you too can get into. Yeah, check it out. Natasha would like you to send out a glossy version of your cover pic.
What? Oh,
yeah.
My one?
Yeah.
Oh, you in my underwear? Yeah, I will do, yeah.
She'd like that. Wipe clean, apparently. Glossy.
A glossy
laminated, I imagine.
Well, I don't know if Natasha is on the Patreon, but there's going to be some special photos on there very soon if she's interested in a bit more.
Bit more Graham. Bit more pickle.
Bit more pickle, yeah.
Bit more pickle. Who doesn't want a bit more pickle?
Extra vinegar tonight, darling.
Do you know, I bought some vinegar the other day. Not unusual, but it's one of those special limited edition extra brewed ones.
Oh, nice.
Do you know, it gave me a terrible cough when I drank some from the bottle to see what it was like.
Oh, you've got to have a little... Oh, fuck off, happy dog. Graham knows all the stories about the murder of ethnics. Fuck off, as if I'm just... I've got Google alerts.
It wouldn't surprise me. Graham mainly shares the ones where white people are killed by black people. He shares a lot of those kind of stories, usually internally amongst the team, with like just the headline, like the subject of the email be, look, see.
Yeah.
He does a lot of that. Yeah, so he mostly doesn't actually know about the ethnic murders because they don't register that much. The only reason this one caught his eye is because it was falsely attributed to racial hatred, because he doesn't believe that racial hatred is an issue. He mainly focuses on white people being killed by ethnic minorities.
Yeah, I thought a couple of whiteys were getting falsely imprisoned here, and then it turns out they did it. They've admitted to it,
but it wasn't racially motivated. It's important to make that point, and that's where Graham's coming from.
Oh, God.
Because that's his thing. Because he does complain a lot that why isn't it ever called a hate crime when white people are attacked by black people?
Shut up.
And do you know what? Actually, do you know what? It's true. When it is motivated by race, it's still not called a hate crime. But I can't agree with him because he gets carried away, and it all gets a bit, dark, a bit uncomfortable, a bit hatey.
Yeah.
Don't mention the Jews for pity's sake. You just daren't. Just daren't. Well, apart from that, he's a great bloke, apart from the transphobia, obviously. But we like to think of that as one of his lighter issues. So, yeah, that's, but, some people find it very attractive. Look at Natasha.
Yeah. Hey.
There you go. She obviously likes that about you.
Fuck off. I'm not even going to do anything now. I'm
it's
not saying
the darkness,
anything.
Pickle. She's drawn to the darkness. You're a dark motherfucker. But, you just embrace it, dude. It's not like you openly advocate violence against individuals. Groups, yep, not individuals.
No, I'm always going on about that. Don't incite violence. Ever.
Unless.
Say.
I think that's a great way of ending the show.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to go sulk.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Trigger Warning Extra Time podcast, including the truth about Pickle. We really appreciate you spending your time with us, whether it's live or if you're listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for your time. Give it a share, guys. It means the world to us. Just share it out there, and let's infect the world with this kind of win. Just carved of pure win. You know? And Graham's obviously not really that bad. I am over-egging it. I feel guilty now. He's not terribly transphobic. There, is that better?
See? No! Just bringing it back up again. With the phrase, he's not terribly transphobic. So just enough then. Just in a fun way. Like one of them, the world's moved on, but he still tells the same jokes kind of way.
No, I mean, it's just, you know, you don't mind the female to male ones so much.
No.
The other ones you seem to have a real problem with. But again, I think you'll come around. I think it's okay. I think you just, you know, you adjust.
Wait, I don't have a problem with any what?
Why are you even saying that? That'll totally have just been edited out.
No, yeah, it's just the hammer cut.
I'll just take a yes from earlier on.
In terms of the strategy, yeah, really out of context. the baby crying in the background suddenly for one word. What? No, I'm not. You know what? I was going to defend myself then, but you can fuck off. I'm not even going to defend myself. I'm not giving you the pleasure of it. I need a wee anyway. I'm not going to sit here talking about my nuanced opinion of the issues in the trans community.
I'm sorry. There's nothing nuanced about having a white is right t-shirt, dude. There's nothing nuanced about that. Come on. With your MAGA hat.
I do have a MAGA hat.
You do have a MAGA hat because you're
of course I do.
Crashing racist. And now everybody knows it. You're not as inclusive as me.
No. Well, I quoted Moggy this evening, didn't I, eh?
Exactly. Look at you.
Before I said it, I said, I agree with this, by the way. Before I say anything right now, this is the truth.
It's all coming out. It's all coming out.
Hey, man, I don't give a shit. Like, you know,
I can tell.
I don't care where the opinion or the point comes from. If it's a valid point,
from a white person.
Point. As long as they're white, you dickhead. I'm going anyway. I need a wee. I'm done.
2 years I've been doing this and it still works.
Bye everyone. I love you. I'm going to go to the toilet. Please share and check out the Patreon if you feel comfortable. We'd really appreciate that.
Night night.
Bastard.
Ah, dear me. It's all fun till someone loses an eye.